I didn't really like the red, white, and blue armor. But I was like, I'll put it on. What the hell? Alright, let me get the thing up here. I got it on the computer today.
I think they're supposed to have the event for that samurai armor in like a week or two, too. I saw on TikTok. I'm curious if it's gonna be difficult like the battle pass. Hopefully not.
So
I
on
kind of
the
hope
8th, are we
because
going to
there'll be
get all
less
the
people.
maps?
What'd you say, Matt?
On the 8th, are we going to get all the maps?
Yeah. There's supposed to be more maps and I believe some game modes and maybe some weapons. I don't know if they have all the weapons now. They might, but there should definitely be more maps on the launch.
That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, the maps are a little bit light, but
yeah. Dude, the one map, me, you, and Fran, what do we get? The same map, 3 game modes in a row.
oh yeah,
Jesus.
it was so many times in a row.
Yeah.
In fact, Halo is going to be our first topic. All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris with Pop Gaming. This is Popcast, episode 8. I got with me Matt, the Matt Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, I'm eating breakfast still.
What you got over there? Something good?
Steak, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel.
Damn,
nice.
eating
Sounds
good.
Delicious.
And then also we have Schwamnay, who congratulations on hitting platinum on the Halo rank yesterday.
Just hit platinum barely, but I'll
Killing
take it. And I got up 10 minutes ago, so bear with me.
All right, to start off, we were surprised this week with Halo Combat Evolved. It was the 20th anniversary, so Microsoft was like, you know what? Here's the multiplayer for Halo Infinite, and just dumped it out there. And I personally liked it. I think it feels pretty good. I think it has to be one of the best betas I've played. I don't know about you guys. Like, it seems pretty solid. I didn't see a lot of errors or bugs or anything like that. Did you guys have anything like that?
No.
Errors or bugs, no. And as someone who played in the first 2 flights, especially the first one, the performance was awful in the very first flight. I was getting like 40 FPS on low settings. Now I'm getting like 70 on like ultra settings. So it's definitely more optimized as well. The biggest complaint, which I agree with everyone, still even after they changed it, is the battle pass progression still a little slow. Like, yeah, you get the challenge per match, but it's only like 50 EXP. So I think they still need to modify it where you get like more EXP based on how many medals you get or something like that. That's like essentially the biggest complaint. Not necessarily the bugs or the performance. It's like the battle pass progression and maybe some customization, but that's about it.
I didn't get to play it as much as you guys have, like ranked and all that stuff, but I like the small team stuff. Big fan of that.
So you like the arena type game modes?
Yeah, like what's that oddball? That 4v4 oddball was so much fun. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I got you.
Not a huge fan of the big team stuff. You kind of get lost in if you come up against too many people. It's just like impossible to actually counter that.
See, that's how I feel about Battlefield too. Like it's just like 64v64.
Do you have a topic about Battlefield today, Chris? Because I got some things to say.
Yeah, it's coming up. But to touch on Halo for a minute, I agree with you, Dan, because you actually thought it was funny. So this week I played it. I think I played it every day. But by Wednesday, I probably had about 8 hours in, 6 hours in, something like that. And I couldn't even hit level 3 on the battle pass, like, because it was all challenge based. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, the grind is insane. Like, at least Call of Duty.
Halo 3S though, because you couldn't rank up your actual rank without getting wins, right? But you could be the best one in the game. If you lose by 1, you still don't get that nice little point to go up.
My only issue with it was the whole time leading up to this beta release, since the game's not actually released yet, was that they kept saying, oh, we don't want the battle pass to be a grind like in other games. But at least in other games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, you're getting points toward the battle pass.
Micro doses of serotonin as you go.
Yeah, but you're getting everything. Like if you play Call of Duty and you capture the objectives, you're getting points. You beat the match, you're getting progression toward the battle pass. Whereas Halo, you literally have to do the challenges. And yeah, they made it a little better with that 50 XP challenge, where every match you get 50 points toward the battle pass. That helps. But it's just, if you really want to get the battle pass done, you got to get these other challenges. Like I had one yesterday. I had to get a kill with that Magnum gun, whatever it's called, and that was a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. And so it's just like, I could see them tweaking it a little bit, but I think it helped a little bit already because I'm already up to level 6. I think I hit level 6 on Thursday. So they obviously changed it a good bit, but I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting that they decided to go all challenge based like that.
They seem to be pretty quick on the trigger with fixing things.
Yeah, which is good. And then I guess season 1's going to run through May.
What you expect from Microsoft,
Yeah, from a first party mega title. But I guess season 1's going to run through May now. And they said that co-op isn't coming out until May. And that apparently Forge is even later than that. Because co-op was going to come out, in hand with season 2. And I thought Forge was also, but apparently Forge is delayed even longer than that, which
I don't care about that because
surprise.
every Forge map looked the same, and I thought it was stupid.
Well, what is Forge exactly? Isn't that where you make your own map? Or
Yeah, you can make your own maps.
And,
and
Bungie
game modes. Well, not game modes, maps, but yeah.
Yeah, but won't Bungie take some of those maps and put out fan created Forge map
play modes? Yeah, playlists.
So they pick their favorites.
Same. Yeah, it's just it's basically different jungle gyms in the middle. You know what I mean?
So it's kind of like Mario Maker and Halo.
Yeah, but at least with Mario Maker, you can go any style of game, any era, and mix and mash and stuff. But on Forge, it's okay, you're on this forest or you're in this forest on a mountain with a blue sky above you, and that's the same thing. Yeah. But the internals change. But not even they all look the same though. So the configuration of those pieces just changes slightly.
Well, we'll see next year. Maybe they'll add a little extra to it.
I know. I didn't play a whole lot of Halo 5, but I know Forge was probably one of the best parts about it because you could actually do more than just that. Where you use the same blueprint.
Yeah, I know people would make they found more fun not playing the multiplayer anymore, but doing, the quad races and things like that.
Yeah.
And
that
then
was cool.
Dan was talking about the 10-ray event. And apparently
it's supposed to come out in a week or two, but yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's the first Halo event. It's going to start on November 23rd. So is that a day before Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they figure kids are going to be off school. People might be off work. They're going to hit it hard.
Oh yeah,
so.
dude, we got Hawkeye coming out this week too.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and speaking of the Tenrai armor too, real quick, I just found out that you can put that red, white, and blue armor coating on it. Apparently, once you unlock it, it looks so ridiculous. Dude, it's like American Samurai.
Yeah, I was gonna say American Samurai.
Yeah, seriously.
Sticking with Microsoft, apparently they've added 76 original Xbox and 360 backward compatible titles that you can play on Series X.
It's the last of what they had, right?
Well, I guess it was the last drop due to licensing issues. They said that they could do more games, but
they did all the games they were capable of doing to this point.
Yeah, which I think is really good. I like the idea of it, right? But the problem is, I don't really go back and play all these games that much.
Do you know?
So
you know who that's for?
Who?
It's the people that hold on to this idea that once you buy a game for $60, it should stay $60, and that when you upgrade consoles, you shouldn't have to pay it. They think that games stay the $60. It's how to explain it? They don't realize that technology, the value doesn't stay at $60 the whole time. So they did it for those people. Those people that will rarely play video games, but when they do, they're oh, I want to play fucking Bulletstorm on the original Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
See, I could see that, but at the same time, I feel like it's almost like they're trying to preserve them. Because they had, if you look back on it, I don't know the exact number, but Microsoft had an extensive library of games on the 360 and Xbox One. And I feel almost like they're just trying to, almost like a museum type thing, where they're just trying to keep it around. So, if your niece or nephew or your kids or somebody wanted to play it, you could be like, yeah, look, here's Max Payne 2 and put it in the system and it just works.
No, I agree with that. But you understand my point, that what I'm saying, have you ever been talking to somebody that were they're well, can I play my old games on it?
Yeah. And that was always
yeah, but now it's yeah, you can, but why do you want to? Like
Well,
that's where I'm
that
at.
was
With,
always
like,
a
where I
big
am
thing
with
for
video
them.
games.
Like PlayStation didn't care about the backwards compatible as much, and Microsoft seemed to push it for Xbox. I mean, I don't know if it's the same on PC because I know I have older PC games that don't work on my current PC. So I'm like, I don't know if they have anything like that for the Microsoft versions, but maybe. And then they also added, I guess, the frame per second boost to 26 more games. And apparently they have plans for 33 that are on cloud gaming service that
Oh,
increase the
nice.
frame rate. So like if you have one of those phones, like I think mine does, I don't know if mine does 60 or 120, but apparently like those gaming phones can go up to like 200 frames per second or something ridiculous. So if you have one of those, you could definitely get a lot more out of it if you're playing on cloud, which I thought was good.
Yeah,
I
I guess
mean,
that's cool too. You can probably it's like having what's it called, an emulator.
yeah, and it's just like a smoother experience, I guess, because obviously they did it with Gears of War and stuff. Everyone seemed to really like it. I don't know how they go back and just like double and triple the frame rate, but hey, they did it, made it better. Let's see. Next up, we also have, you wanted to talk about Battlefield. Let's talk about Battlefield for a minute. So Battlefield, the beta came out, and I have to say I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy it. I thought the time to kill was too high. It was hard to, first of all, it was hard to even find people and get shots on them. I felt like every time I looked around, I was getting sniped and picked off. And then EA comes out and they're like, hey, you know what? If you got Game Pass or EA Play, either one, you can get 10 hours free on Battlefield. Now, I was going to play and I was like, I'm going to wait to jump in because I heard a lot of issues with different bugs and stuff. So I figured I'm like, I'll wait a couple weeks until I jump in and try it out. If I like it, I'll buy it. But somebody told me you had quite the experience with it, Matt.
It's ridiculous. I was gonna try to do the 10-hour trial, and then I was like, I'm gonna end up buying this game anyways. I know it will because I love Battlefield, so I just bought the $90 one like a big dumb idiot. And
Wait. First, before you get into it, what comes in the $90 one versus like the standard one?
you get a character like you get this. Was it Irish? The one that's played by Omar from
So
The
you-
Wire. I forget what his name is, but that you get that guy, which I thought that's cool. I want him, and they all have different special abilities. So like it's kind of a perk to have him, and not really. Like he gets extra armor or something, and I think like a gun pack or some bullshit after that. But like I go and play, and I'm like, okay, where's the infantry only, and where are the smaller team games? It's so like you get conquest that's either 64 versus 64 on those giant maps, and there's like 4 vehicles for a giant team, so it doesn't even you can't get a vehicle, or you can go play the rush style mode where it's just all vehicles and people are just getting ran over left and right, and again you have to run because people just camp vehicle spawns. So like the whole time, like I just want to play against only infantry, like with 32 versus 32, and they don't have it. There's no option. You are just stuck playing this giant mess of a game. And then like there's all kinds of bugs. Like the one was I got killed, and it was you can either wait for a revive or you can just kill yourself and respawn.
Yeah.
I couldn't do neither, so I got stuck in a bug where like I can only be revived, so I couldn't just kill myself.
What?
Yeah, but
Oh
the
my
worst part about it
God.
though, the point moved. So all of my team and all the enemy team was up at the next section of the map. So I'm stuck in the back of the map. It was the only good game I had. I had like 13 kills. I was like, finally, I'm doing good. And I got
And that
stuck.
happens.
I'm
And
just
it's a
laying on the ground
game-breaking
going,
bug.
someone's just he's screaming, help me. Help me. I need help over here. And then
And
no
so-
one's around. They can't do
So
nothing.
you never died? You just sat there?
I said maybe I'll give it like a couple minutes, and then I'm looking for the option in the menu that they used to have to commit suicide. Because if you get stuck in the water or something, you don't want to swim back, you could just commit, you can respawn basically. And that's
Yeah.
gone. They took that option out. And I was
So-
talking to my buddy about it. He said the only way to play a smaller infantry-only mode is to go play the Portals. The Portals doesn't have the new guns that you want to rank up. It just has like Bad Company 2 or Battlefield
Yeah.
3 guns.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this
the
is
old
ass. I don't want to
guns.
use these guns. I want the new guns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a fuck game. I don't know. I'm waiting for an update of some sort to like fix a lot of the problems, but I don't know if that's even gonna happen soon. So
I don't know if you mentioned this, but I know there's like a major bug where your friendlies will show as enemies too. Did you experience that, Matt, or
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
I mean, dude, it's all kinds of crazy fucking bugs. What was the one that? You know how like you can't spawn on your teammates if they're in combat.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't tell you they're in combat. You'll spawn into death.
They're just like, yeah, you want to go back here? Good luck.
I was like, well, and then there's that their version of their battle royale or whatever where you drop in and grab the intel and shit, and you have to leave.
Yeah,
you go in there, you get this
hazard
intel
mode.
and you leave. And I said, well, what does that intel get me? Does it get me like a gun variant or like attachments for my guns or something? And they're like, no, you just get these credits to use to go back in. I said, so this is just like Tarkov, and there's no fucking point in me doing this a second time.
Is that how Tarkov is?
Like, you don't win either. Like, you don't beat the whole lobby and win. You just escape and get more money to go back in to do it again to get more money. I'm like, there's no point. It's not even a fun gameplay. Like,
actually, now that you say that, so I watched some gameplay this week with Tim the Tapman, actually, and I actually thought hazard mode looked kind of cool. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. You go in and you get money and you can buy better guns for next time, or buy an insertion thing, or what else did he buy? You buy different stuff. Like, he bought his custom M4. But you're right. Now that I think about it, it's kind of a waste. So you just go in to do better, to get more money, to buy stuff to do better next time. You're not actually getting anything.
You're not ranking anything. You're not contributing to your character in any way. Like, it's just not fucking fun. There's nothing to do.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that until you just said that. Because watching it actually seemed kind of interesting. Like, you drop in with,
I know the first
is it
time
a
I played,
3 or 4 man?
Great. You can do 4 man.
4 man.
And I was like, the first time I played, I was like, this is really fun. This is gonna be a cool mode and stuff. And then I'm like, you're fighting AI, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then you get killed by the team that spawned on the roof. It's like, well, they just spawned there. You don't even. It does not even like they dropped in there and fought for it. They just spawned there. So they spawned with better advantage over me. And then the one time I was playing, a guy came with a Hummer and just ran me over, and his teammates shooting my other teammates in the back. I'm like, they get this whole vehicle because they found it somewhere in the back of the map.
Yeah, I think it would have been better.
We don't have a rocket launcher to take it out. we're just sitting there with a thumb of our ass going. I guess we just die now.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if you had like an actual airdrop, kind of like Call of Duty, because then you're like, okay, I want to land here. And if it's a good spot, you're going to be fighting somebody right off the rip. So I think that would have made it a little better. Because I thought the same thing when I was watching the video footage. It looked like you just start in a random spot. They don't exactly, I don't think you pick, right? It's just random.
Nope. Just drops you in.
Yeah, and then everyone has I guess you got a scope that can show you where the intel is. And so then you just try and get to it. And you got to get, 3 to get out? Or 4 or something? Like, I know you have to collect so many of them. And then it's take the
3,
thing to get out.
Oh, you have to get I didn't know you had to get at least 3. Like, you just.
I thought it was at least 3. I don't know. I could be wrong. I haven't played it yet. I just watched video of it. But I did like the fact that they took a page out of Titanfall's playbook where they added, AI characters in with real people, which apparently I heard the AI is pretty tough in hazard mode. But I like they mixed it in.
Like, they'll just start randomly shooting over at you, and then you got to, and they just kind of give you away. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy too much of that game. I didn't have a moment at all where I was like, okay, I can do this for a while and rank up this, and then go from there. It was just like spawn die, get ran over by hovercraft 7 times. Like, I was. That's the worst part. It's like you get ran over by the hovercraft, and then you go to look at your vehicles, and they all have like a 2-minute delay to spawn. So it's like, okay, I'll wait around and try to get one. But it's like your whole team's doing that too.
But speaking of the hovercraft,
vehicles.
I saw a video of the hovercraft driving straight up the side of a building, which I was like,
is that even intended or is that a bug? Like, I don't even.
I think it's intended because
really?
Battlefield. Remember in the trailer they made a whole point to show people were strapping C4 to like the front of cars and stuff to like launch them into roofs and stuff. I think it's absolutely intended.
Maybe they did it so you can't camp the roof and like just hold down the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Like they want to give you as many options to get on a roof as you can. But the thing is like the roof's like the only safe place because at least you can see the hovercraft coming, or it takes a while for them to get up anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, they even get stuck on the side of the building.
It's just crazy though because it's a light vehicle and it can take so much damage and explosions before it actually like blows up. Because I've been in one and we never fucking died. It's just crazy.
It just takes a beating.
Yeah.
See, so I might jump into it this week and just try it out a little. Put an hour into it, just see how it feels.
I'll try to play with you. I mean, I own the game. I might as well. I'll play with you for a little bit. But...
Yeah, you got the $90 version with Irish.
Hey, I mean, I was hoping at one point they would say like Omar's coming or something.
That would have been
But
cool. I would have really liked that. I'm a big fan of The Wire. I would have loved to see him
Did
put
you get
something
it
like that
through
in there.
Steam, Matt, or somewhere else? The game.
EA Origins.
Oh, okay, because I know at least on Steam, I read online where you can actually get a refund no matter how many hours you played in the game because it just got all these issues and shit. So Valve's just like, fuck it.
Maybe EA. You know, I shouldn't say. No, EA. They're a bunch of cons. They'll keep my money.
Yeah, they're not giving your money back. We know that for sure. I can tell you here. I'll be the EA person. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't like that. Okay, have fun. Buy our next game. See ya. Like,
Yeah.
that's all you're gonna get.
Too bad. You don't like our game. Oh,
Yeah.
They're
just
sitting
wait
there
5
rubbing their
years for
nipples.
the next Battlefield. Oh.
Well, speaking of first-person shooters, let's switch back over to Call of Duty. So Vanguard released, and I know you guys were enjoying it. I actually come around. At first, I wasn't a fan, and Matt was mad at me because he said I ruined
I
CODness.
was trying to tell you, nobody's a fan of the games at launch if you're not good. You have to learn what the good stuff is and figure out what works for you. And
But
look
see,
at you,
I
you found it, bud.
I was a fan of Cold War when it launched. I don't know why, and I know a lot of people don't like Cold War, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I'm not sure. But anyway,
No, I just think I didn't like Cold War first, right? And then I found whatever gun I liked, and it started working for me. I think it was the Milano. I started using the Milano, and I was like, this gun's great. And then I ran with that for a while, and like then I came around on that game. I was thinking the same thing. You were saying you like all the mechanics and stuff on this game. I was like, you just got to find the right gun.
yeah, you might be right.
The
I
right
just
mode to play.
For some reason, when I jumped in Cold War, though, there was like no issues. Like I started playing it and I loved it. And me and Fran put a shit ton of hours into it. And
Well, you also are off from work, right?
no, I wasn't. No, it
No,
came
okay.
out this time last year, right? It was like November of
Okay,
last year.
I didn't know if you got it at launch.
Yeah, I did. I got it at launch and we just played it, after work every day. In fact, I felt bad. There were a lot of nights, like on Fridays and stuff, where Fran had to work the next day and I kept him up too late playing that game. But it was just like, I jumped into this one and like you said, I like the feel, but I just didn't enjoy the game. But now I've come around. I enjoy it now. Like I'll jump in, I play it, I like it. But they were talking this week. Apparently, Activision's new anti-cheat is going active, in December. But apparently it can ban you, and we talked about this before. There was rumors of it, but now they're saying it will ban you from all the games. So if you cheat and Ricochet catches you, then you're banned from Cold War, and you're banned from, what were the old ones? Advanced War?
Now,
and Ghost?
is it an IP ban, or is it just your account is banned?
I think it's an IP ban because they were saying that it can detect even if you try to block it or if you try to. What's the thing? They said you could change like your numbers on your hardware or spoof your hardware or
You
something.
can spoof your IP.
But they were saying that they could even detect if you try to like hide your hardware information or something weird like that.
It's kernel level, so I'm sure.
Yeah,
they
it seemed
have.
very, very deep and intrusive, which is good, to combat cheaters. But at the same time, like, so you're saying if I cheat at this game, which, you shouldn't cheat at any game, but if I cheat and they catch me, that means I can't even play like any Call of Duty that I ever bought.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's
here's the thing. Here's where I'm okay with it, only because they have given you fair warning. They said it's coming. This is what it'll do. You've been doing it for months, into a year now. You've been cheating on our games. If you still continue to want to do it, that's the level of consequence you get because we couldn't do nothing beforehand. We're kind of catching up to all that. You understand?
Yeah. And me, like I said, I don't cheat, so I'm okay with it. Like, ban them, whatever. But I just feel like if you paid the money for that game, like, it would just suck if you're a kid and you don't pay attention.
Go look at your unlicensed user agreement, and I guarantee you there's a section that says you cannot modify or cheat or change the game in any way. Because remember, you're buying the license for the game. You're not buying the game.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
if you don't follow their rules, they can do whatever they want. You can take it to court all you want. You lost your $60 by violating their agreement.
Yeah, you're right.
Good luck taking Activision to court. Ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I know. It ain't gonna work
but you know
anyway.
what I'm saying? Like, good luck trying to get your 60 back but you it's like breaching a contract and then trying to say, well, I want my money back that I spent up to this point. Like breaching a lease agreement. Like you say, okay, I won't break the house. Then you break the house and say, I want all my money back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have
can't
a point.
do it. It's not allowed.
And like I said,
So
I don't
I agree.
cheat, so
I
that's
think
cool. Do it.
If they lay out the parameters now, and they tell you now what's going to happen, and you still want to do it, that's you facing the consequences and on your own accord.
The only thing I was wondering though is they don't say anything about if it's just online. So like if you wanted to go back and play like the Cold War campaign. Would you be able to? I'm not
I
sure.
don't, probably not, because I can tell you right now, I have a permabanned account because it got to a point where I made a fake account. I've said this before, I'm sure, but it got to a point where I made a
couple times.
fake account. I cheated a little bit, had some fun, but my account got permanently banned, and it states it right when I open the game. It says your account was permanently banned. So I couldn't even go into
the menu even.
Yeah, I couldn't even get to that main menu. It said permanently banned, and then it says quit the desktop.
You couldn't even do like zombies or campaign. Wow.
It said your account was permanently banned, and that's it. End of story. See you, bud.
So I mean, I get that, but I'm just like, man, it just
I
sucks
think,
if you spend the
Chris,
money and you can't even go back.
I think it's gonna just ban you. It's just gonna ban the account. I don't think they're gonna do like hardware banning now.
I thought it said it did, but you might be right.
Did it say hardware banning? Because
they did at one point, but I can't
hardware
remember if
ban
it was
is
in
like
this
your
one.
MAC address. That's your physical address. But you can spoof it. But maybe they found a way to get around people spoofing it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they said that these would still be hardware bans or if that was just before, because they keep going back and forth with all this stuff, and it does get confusing with all this kernel level shit going on. But we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good thing. Maybe it'll actually stop the cheaters in Warzone and Vanguard. I don't know. Did you guys see any cheaters in Vanguard?
No. We initially before we figured out that there was what's it called, a glitch that lets you use that master camo. Before we realized that, we thought some kid was buying an unlock all tool, but we realized later we outed him for no reason.
So there is a glitch for that?
There was. If you were on PC and you had a controller, you would quickly press left and A while you were on the master camo, and it would you have a second where it was like I guess the part that locks it wasn't working, so you could put it on your gun.
Oh wow, yeah, I had no idea.
But I mean, Modern Warfare had the same problem. Not with camos, but they had these certain builds they would make. People used to make where your gun would go in there without a barrel, so it looks like you had an invisible gun. And they fixed all those builds, but people still can use them as long as they never changed it.
Oh, I see. If you never switched the gun.
So yeah,
attachments.
That's just I think that's normal. Hey, our game's a little buggy in certain spots, kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can see.
I mean, you hate to see it on a mastery camo because that's something people strive for while the whole life of the game.
Well, I will say we talked about it yesterday. Me, Fran, and Dan were playing some Cold War or some Vanguard. Sorry, not Cold War. And we saw a guy that had the master zombie camo, and he had
same thing.
He was level 18.
Yeah, he was only level 18, so it was the same type of thing.
He was going 20-2. This dude was not legit. There's no way.
Yeah, because he was only 17.
Maybe
I'm like,
he did have an aimbot or something, but I can tell you what that camo worked on. That camo glitch worked in the zombie ones as well.
But I just thought it was weird. He had that camo. He had the dogs already unlocked, and he was only level 17 or 18. And like Dan said, he was insane. He was going 20-2. I'm like, how's he doing so well? How's he already have dogs unlocked? I don't even think you get those at level 17 or 18. But I don't know. It was weird. But we'll see, because Ricochet is going to stop him, hopefully, if he was cheating. If not, then he'll still be there.
Dude, there's so many people on TikTok that still call it Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Well, moving back to Xbox. So during the celebration last week, before they announced that you could play Halo for free, apparently Phil Spencer was talking about Game Pass and said it's doing very well. It's very, very sustainable, he said, as it is now. And it's continuing to grow. Because we talked a couple weeks ago about Game Pass. The subscribers were slowing down. They missed a target that they thought they were going to hit. But now they currently have 18 million subscribers confirmed by Microsoft. So, I mean, I guess, were we wrong? Because before we thought that they were spending a lot of money on these games. But now he's saying it's very sustainable as the way it is now. And they got a shit ton of games on there.
I mean, I don't know if I ever thought that it was a program that was going to lose them money.
The only time I thought it was a program that would lose the money is whenever it first came out on PC. It was like $1 a month forever. It just as like a beta test, and I was like, they're obviously gonna up it because they're just trying to entice people to play it, and essentially.
Well, I can
But
tell
as
you
a
that I blindly pay it every month without even thinking.
yeah,
Well, I get
I
my
like
money out of it
sometimes
too.
catch. I sometimes catch the charge in my account, and I'm like, oh, there, I just paid it again. But like,
yeah,
like right now, like I got Forza 5 without. I have only played it once to this point,
yeah,
but like, that's a $60 game. So if you
yeah.
think about it, there's 4 months of it that's kind of paying for itself, and like that way, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
same with Back for Blood. That's $60. I got that on Game Pass. I got
Yeah.
Forza for $60. I mean, on Game Pass for a $60 game. Like Halo campaign at $60. I'm playing that on Game Pass. Like you just save so much money. That's $180 right there. That
Yep.
I'm only doing for $10 a month. That's crazy.
I think the
But
thing was, or go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
to answer your question, you're asking if it's sustainable. Like I don't think we can really answer that until we know how Microsoft is paying these developers. Are they paying them based on how many people are playing their games? Are they paying them like how, like does it vary for indie developers, which I'm assuming it does compared to AAA developers? So like I don't think we can really make that statement based on like the fact that we don't know how they're paying these developers. But obviously it's working for them because they have millions of people and they're still getting AAA games such as Back for Blood Day One. So clearly, it's working out.
Yeah, I have to say, so the reason I brought it up a few weeks ago was because there were all these articles, I'm guessing from people that don't like Microsoft, I don't know, but they were saying there's no way that Microsoft can keep up Game Pass because, like you said, they're getting all these AAA titles. You got Outriders day one, you had Back for Blood day one. I saw they have the new Stalker, which I don't know, is Stalker a Microsoft exclusive? But they have that day one, and it's just like, how are
Yeah,
they
it's
making
Xbox
this work?
and PC exclusive to answer your question.
Yeah, so that's one of the exclusives. But it's like, how are they making this work? And people were saying they're just burning through money to get this subscriber base, and then they're going to jack the price up. But right now, Phil Spencer's saying that's not the plan. He's saying it's
Well,
very
wait,
sustainable.
when you think about it, wouldn't all of our Game Passes, everyone paying for it every month, pay for these games?
Now, that was my idea. So, like Dan was saying, we don't know exactly what deals they make. They said that they make different deals based on the game and everything. But the idea is, so I'm paying for Game Pass each month, right? But I didn't play like, what's that new game, Agami or something that people really like. I didn't play it. I don't play any of the anime games. I'm not big into that. So they're still getting a piece of my money though for those games. So like the way you're saying it, Matt, I think that's why it works because they have so many people that yeah, you might get somebody that doesn't like racing games. Okay, but they might like all these other games. But they're still technically supporting the racing game also because you're paying for the pass. So you're supporting all the games on the subscription service. And I think that's how it's working and staying alive so strong, which I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
Because you get your money. For me, I got Ultimate, so what is it, $180 a year? So you figure as long as I play like 4 games, I get more than my money back, which I've played a lot more than 4 games. And like Dan said, thank God Back for Blood was on Game Pass because I wasn't that much of a fan. I played it, I probably put about 12 hours into it, but I didn't enjoy it that much. Like it wasn't bad. It's just
Speaking of reviews, just real quick, Back for Blood's currently listed at, or it's currently sitting at mixed reviews on Steam, and Battlefield, unsurprisingly, is at overwhelmingly negative or very negative.
Seen that.
Well,
that was funny.
Back for Blood, I think people knew what they were getting. Like if you played Left 4 Dead, Back for Blood's not too much different. It's still that fun arcade shooter. It's just they added these other things in. Plus, when we played it, it was bugged. Where they remember, Dan, we talked about it, where they were just throwing massive amounts of like the hard bad guys at us, like the tall boy or whatever. They just threw a shit ton of them at us, and apparently it came out that it was bugged, and we weren't supposed to fight that many mini bosses at once.
Not really.
So, yeah, so I mean, it might be better now.
because they would throw us like 5 tall boys at us at the same
tall
time.
boy, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And they came out and said that it was bugged, that you weren't supposed to be fighting that many tall boys and bloaters and all that stuff at once like that, which was pretty insane at times. So the game might even be better now. But you knew what you were getting. With Battlefield, like you're only getting multiplayer. There's no campaign. There's no zombies. They added a similar type of BR, but apparently we talked earlier, it wasn't that great. And then they added Portal, which I felt like was just tacked on at the end. Like it's nice they add that. Don't get me wrong.
Portal's
That's
cool. Portal's
yeah.
cool. Don't get me wrong. Portal is just it's not what you want at the beginning of the game. Like I don't want to rank up Bad Company 2 guns. I don't want to play that game right now. I want to play your game that you made for me.
And that's why I feel like it was just tacked on.
I don't want, dude. It's too much happening at one time. Like, and listen, my friend was like, "Well, listen, this is how you do it. You just spot out enemies, and you can rank up that way." And I'm like, I don't want to fucking sit there with binoculars and just say, "Hey, there's a guy here," and hope that someone else kills him. Who plays a fucking game like that?
Hey, it's like the spotter scope in Warzone.
Yeah, that no one uses.
That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's like, "Well, I had 200 assists this game just by doing that." I'm like, that is no fucking fun. I was like, you only rank your gun up by killing people, and you're not ranking any of your guns up. And he's like, what do I want to rank my gun up for? I'm like, because all of the attachments that actually make it a usable gun are from ranking it up.
Bro, he don't want to rank his gun up. He wants to rank that spotting scope up. Spot two guys at once.
Dude, the gun ranks they're not scaled because of XP either. So like even like when you shoot at someone like with your with the M4, right? You get an assist because someone else stole the kill. You don't get any points towards unlocking the next attachment because it's only based off of kills. It's the most frustrating way to do it. It's like COD 4 back in the day, how you'd have to get 25 kills to get the red dot and 75 for the suppressor and stuff like that. That's exactly how it is. Like it's not fun. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do challenges to unlock simple attachments. I want to rank it up based off of my XP.
Well, Halo changed their battle pass strategy, so maybe Battlefield will change their rank up strategy. But speaking of Game Pass,
dude, name something. Name one time where EA listened to us because their game was broken.
Well, I mean, the launch of every Battlefield is broken, and they listen to us and fix it at least so it's playable. They shoved
Battlefront down all those Star Wars fans' throats, and then fixed the game a year and a half after it came out.
Yeah, you have a point there.
You know what I mean?
But anyway, getting back to Game Pass, we were talking about it, and so we also said about Forza 5 coming out, and I personally really liked it. I already have about 10 hours into it, and apparently it broke the sales record or player record of any Xbox game ever with over 450 million players. Like, that's kind of crazy if you ask me. And now they didn't put any numbers up for Halo yet, obviously, since it's not officially released yet. But I mean, that's pretty impressive that not just a Microsoft first-party title did so well, but the fact that it's a racing game. Because historically, racing games, they have their market, but they don't usually do as well. Like normally, first-person shooters take the cake, and we might see that very well with Halo breaking Forza's record. But I mean, still, that's pretty impressive that Forza Horizon 5 broke that record and came out, so strong.
Yeah.
Especially being like an arcadey type.
Did they actually fix that exploit where you can just leave you hold down the right trigger and your car just drives? Did they fix that yet?
No, they didn't fix it.
It's not an exploit.
And that's the thing. I don't think they're going to fix it because it's not an exploit. It's an accessibility feature. And I think that's the only reason it's still there.
Yeah, it's for people who because they put the prosthetic arms and legs into this now.
Yeah.
And they did the whole pronouns thing too, which is, hey, listen, I'm not saying anything against it. If it helps the player base grow, that's awesome. But now doing that, you're letting the people who always said that they would do really well in the Paralympics perform in or compete in the Paralympics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As horrible as that sounds, I'm saying it's like you got people that will be like, I'd kick all their asses if I was in that. It's like, well, now you can because all you gotta do is hold the trigger down.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But that feature was meant for people who obviously cannot use two hands or that want to enjoy an experience of racing without, but people figured out hey, if I'm in, it's there, I'm going to use it. And listen, whatever, those kind of games, whatever gets me to the most cars I can right away, I'll do it.
I mean,
because
I don't have anything against it, but it's not like you're competing. You can't use it to beat real people. So I'm not saying
no, but you can use
it just to get up your money and buy cars. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that's why they don't do nothing to it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's if you're gonna keep playing the game just because you want to get cars, Do it. Go ahead and do it. Fine, whatever.
And that's kind of along the lines with their whole strategy or tagline. They want everyone to be able to play. They want everyone to enjoy it. And I think that's why so many people are jumping into it right now, because it's an enjoyable game. Like if the race is too hard, you make it easy. If you don't like the
Yeah.
car, you
Yeah.
buy a new car, or you can do this exploit and get your money up and buy every car in the game. I mean, they make it so many people can just jump in and enjoy
And
it.
don't they give you cars for each races too? Like you're like, yeah, you could choose this one or use your own car.
Well,
Like they have
some of them,
recommended cars.
yeah, some of them they have chapter, like some of them they have these story events and they give you a car to use, which is usually better than
Yeah.
whatever you have. But then
Yeah.
whenever you beat them, a lot of times they'll give you a car for beating it. And then you get these wheel spins that you can also unlock cars. And then they have barn finds that you unlock cars. So there's a lot of ways to get it. And it's pretty enjoyable and you can do different things.
Bar
Like if
finds were really fun to go after and get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
enjoy
just
those.
did I actually did 3 of them before we got on today. I was like, "Oh, here, I'll just go look for this barn."
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. They make it so a lot of people can enjoy it for different reasons. Like maybe Matt likes to just race head to head, or like I like the arcade. I never did Forza Arcade before. I don't know if it was in the fourth game, but I did it. And what you do is you go to this area, and they'll be like, "All right, it's a drift challenge. So you got to get as many drift points as you can." But everybody in this big circle work together. Like if all 3 of us are playing
Yeah.
and we all go to this area, we all work together, and so if we win, we all win, and I kind of like
I
that.
always like the community events are always really fun on those games.
Yeah, and it's just something they have so
You know what
much
it
in
reminds
there.
me of? You
That,
remember Burnout Paradise?
yeah, I played that.
Dude, I played that game. I got every. You know, you can get platinum cards by unlocking everything and all that. I did every possible thing you could do to get the platinum cards. I liked that game so much, but I could never get the achievements that required a party of 8 to get together and do challenges because they wasn't like an open online world like it is now. So
Yeah,
I was always like I need 8 people that have Burnout Paradise that I can invite to a game. Then we won't disconnect, and we can do these challenges for like a couple hours.
that's tough. Yeah,
So that those community events remind me of the good times when I could get a bunch of people on Burnout Paradise to play.
yeah, and I find it fun. Like the Horizon Arcade's hilarious. Like they have wreckage events, speed events, jump events, drift events, and literally all you do is go to this circle. And you could see how many other people are going to participate. So if there's nobody in there, I could just drive away and go do something else. And I like that. It's just an easy way to just jump in and out and play with other people. It's kind of cool. And then moving on
Yeah,
from that,
Sweet.
we have to jump into the elephant in the room, GTA again. We talk about GTA. I feel like we talk about GTA every goddamn week on here, but this week we're talking because the trilogy was released, then it was pulled from stores, then because they pulled the trilogy from PC stores, they gave the classic version of each game to the people that bought the remaster. And it just seems weird to me. Like I'm thinking, like, okay, if it's me, I bought the GTA trilogy remaster, and then you pull it and tell me I can't play it because they left all kind of shit in it that wasn't supposed to be in there, and then they're like, oh here, just play the originals instead. Play these classics. Like, wait a minute, I played that shit when it came out. I wanted to play the new shit. Like, I don't know, what can they do to make people happy here? Because they kind of messed it all up really bad.
I mean, I don't know. They just re-release. They never should have removed the old games from the store. I hate when people do that. Like, yeah, we remastered this game. You don't need the old game. Let's remove it. That's never a good sign. Like, it's always a shitty move to do, especially if like your new game like
Doesn't
is
work.
it removes features or whatever, or it runs like shit or anything like that. Because that's what happened with the new GTA trilogy, where they didn't have the licensing for the radio stations, and some people like that, especially for Vice City. They like the music, and apparently, from what I read online, they removed some of those stations, so people were upset about that, and like a few other things here and there. So they, I'm glad that they're putting the games back. But the thing is, though, at least on PC, they didn't put the old games back on the Steam store. They only put it on the Rockstar store, which no one gives a fuck about. So
I'm trying to push that
yeah,
store.
until they put it back on Steam and like something else, yeah, people are gonna be upset about that. So first of all, what I would do to because you said what can they do to save face, put the old games back on like the biggest store in PC, Steam, and work on the bugs or whatever for the games, and more importantly, work on the visual issues. Have you guys seen how the faces look in some of these
Oh yeah.
games?
Or even like
They're
how the arms are
atrocious.
disproportionate, like when he's
Yeah,
riding the bicycle. Like it was so
yeah.
bad.
There's literally PC mods for the original games that look way better than these fucking faces. Like, they need to touch up on the faces. They need to put the original games back on, and I don't know, anything like that. That would be a good start, in my opinion.
Yeah, that could help. I just thought it was like a slap in the face, though. Being like, all right, you bought the remaster, but it's kind of messed up, so we're going to take that back. But you can have these old
Yeah.
ones that you probably bought before anyway, and you can play those ones like the classics. Like, what's the point then to even have the remaster? I don't know. It just
Yeah.
seemed really weird. I don't know. I liked playing it. Like jumping back into San Andreas since it's on Game Pass. If you got Game Pass, you can jump in, check it out. But I don't know. It didn't have the feel it used to have. And I guess that's just my
Mhm.
mind, thinking how great it was back in the day. But now that we're in the future and you played GTA 4 and 5 and online, it's just, it's not bad. They did add some improvements, especially with like the weapon wheel, the radio station wheel. But like Dan said, they cut a lot of music and they changed a lot of things. They changed some cutscenes, some things. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I think I think what they wanted to do was good because it's like the 20th anniversary of GTA 3, but I just feel like they didn't give it enough time. Like maybe they should have started it earlier or delayed this.
They
But
also outsourced it to a company that worked on mobile games. That's not a good start. They should have done
yeah,
it in house, but I guess they're too busy with GTA 6 and pushing out cards for GTA 5 to work
yeah,
on it.
true. They probably got more updates for online, really. It's because they're making a fortune on that. So we know they
Yeah,
have the money. It's just a matter of where they're putting the money. So, well, we'll see.
yeah.
And then speaking of other issues, we'll throw this one to Matt. New World is again having issues with gold duplication. This time they're saying you can duplicate trophies, which you can sell, but as the supplies increase and you sell more of these trophies, it kind of totally destroys the economy of the game. Did you experience any of that when you were playing?
The only thing I got affected by, because that it destroys the economy for the people that are already level 60 and money actually matters at that point. But the only thing I noticed was we couldn't even trade loot we were collecting. Like me and Jesse couldn't just trade loot we got because they completely disabled currency and trading all to try to fix the first one.
Oh,
So like
okay.
that's something I noticed, and I was like, that's annoying because like he was holding on to a hatchet I really wanted, and I couldn't get it until it was figured out. But I mean, listen, that happens in every game, and like the idea that you got to keep up with this weird economy makes no sense to me because it's like if I can do that, I'm gonna want to keep playing the game. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stay on the game and buy a bunch of different shit. It's gonna keep me going.
Yeah, I can
But
see that.
but I also know that if you like I found out later though, if you get like $100,000 from like your company, if you all put your money together, you can go buy a town. So I know that might have fucked with people because then like the government keeps changing in that whatever town is being bought and sold.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I guess they also had a player or a problem before. What was the issue last time they were saying? This time it was about the gold duplication. Shit, I can't remember. They had another issue before where they were having problems with people. Stealing money. I guess you could steal money from your faction if you were a
What?
certain
You can do that?
position. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
if you're
guess.
I see like I'm the governor in my company just because I made
Yeah.
it, but people will put money into that into a fund basically. You can go in there and put it in there. Like
Like
if you
toward the
wanted to
group.
if you have a big enough company, you can pay dues basically and use that money towards things that help the company. And I made Jesse my counsel so he can also access the money. So between us, we can go take that money and do whatever we want with it.
And I guess
Yeah.
people were doing that before. They would be in these giant like guilds of like, 1,000 people or 100 people. I don't know how many you could get in there. But they were saying like, "Oh yeah, I was like the council, so I took the money and then I left and went to joined another team." And it's like people were super mad about it, but I guess there wasn't anything they could really do about it because they were in charge of the money. So they're like, "Yep, they just took it and left." And now you got the gold duplication thing. So it's like they had a few issues, which I don't think are terrible, especially when you look at some of the other games released lately. But it's just interesting to see, like, it's a virtual economy that's basically like collapsing because of a workaround. It's kind of like the whole thing when all those people bought the GameStop stock and crashed the market for a couple days. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the same type of thing, just virtual. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of funny. Anyway, this week we're going to get to the pop gaming question, which was, what is your favorite all-time weapon in any game ever? Any game, any weapon.
I have two, but I'm gonna say one right now. Oh fuck, Fran, you're here for the pop gaming question of the week.
Fran made it for the
gonna
question. Hold on, let me rephrase it so Fran can hear it.
Okay.
Are you ready, Fran?
No, but yeah.
The pop gaming question of the week was, what is your favorite weapon?
Your favorite gun?
Out of any, favorite weapon. It doesn't have to be a gun. Out of any game that you've played. But we'll start with Matt since he has two. Go ahead, Matt.
I have two, but I don't want to say both. I'm gonna wait on the second one.
All right.
My favorite though, one of the favorites was probably, I guess I thought about this a little bit. It's the Lancer from Gears of War. How fucking satisfying
is that the one?
that
Is that the one with the chainsaw?
Yeah. How satisfying it was to get up on somebody and chainsaw them in half. And
The bayonet was kind of cool too, because you could like charge at them and literally pick them up in the air. But the Lancer was cooler.
But that was the retro Lancer. So there's both Lancers.
Yeah.
So that's all. Yeah, the Lancer is my first one. So.
All right. What about you, Dan?
I'm gonna say it's not like a gun per se, but it's still considered a weapon from Half-Life 2 and the E2 expansions, the gravity gun, because it's just fun picking up like a toilet and launching it at an enemy. And it's just so much fun because they ragdoll. Like you launch a toilet, throw it at an enemy, and they just ragdoll. Like it's so entertaining doing that. And then later on in the game, if you guys ever played that, you literally can pick up enemies and like throw them. So I don't know, it's just fun, like picking up objects, throwing it at enemies, and then their body goes flying. So it's not necessarily a gun, but it's still a weapon. So that's probably my favorite weapon.
It was fun, and they had a good like physics engine going whenever that game came out. So it was a good time.
Yeah.
What about you, Fran? Just waking up. What's your gun, man?
I have three. Three. But
Good.
two of them are Call of Duty guns.
All right.
Well, I gotta love the golden gun from 007.
I knew
GoldenEye.
you were saying that yesterday. The golden gun from GoldenEye.
I feel like, that's like the first shooter I've ever played, and I remember playing with you when I was super young.
Yeah.
And then the other two, it's always going to be the M16 from Call of Duty.
Wait, the Warzone one or the Cold War one?
It doesn't matter. It's in every game. It's literally in every Call of Duty. And the ACR from Modern Warfare.
Oh, ACR 2 from Modern Warfare 2. That was insane.
Yeah.
All right. For me...
the ACR needs to make a comeback in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
For me, I'd have to say it's the AMAX from Warzone. I love that gun.
What?
My gold AMAX.
All time. It's
Of
your
all
favorite
The
of
old
all
AMAX
time?
before the nerf was so good.
I loved it, man. That
Do
one...
you not remember any guns before that?
Well, no, I had three also.
I'm surprised he didn't say the MP5 for actually.
Yeah,
I
at least
forgot about the
MP5's in
MP5.
every game, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd probably have to say the MP5 would be my favorite. Then I have two other ones, though. I also have the pistol from Halo, the original pistol. That Magnum was insane.
Dude,
insane.
when you would snipe the guy out of the tank back in the day.
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
you can't
it
do
was just
anything like that with the
unstoppable.
pistol.
And then my third one, I don't even know if you guys know this one. This is from Perfect Dark, the original on Nintendo 64. And it was like the dragon
I don't
gun.
remember the guns, though.
Every gun had two functions, but this gun was amazing because it actually gave you, it wasn't a whole lot, but it gave you a grenade launcher with it. So you could shoot people, and then you instantly had the grenade. You could just fire at them. And at the time, it was amazing. Obviously, now, every Call of Duty gun, you can add a grenade launcher attachment. But back then...
Dude, that was such...
Well, back then, it was big, and Perfect Dark was a spin-off of GoldenEye. So it was like you just jumped in, and Perfect Dark had the bots. So I played a lot on Perfect Dark, because if you didn't have friends over, you could still play against the computer. And I loved that dragon gun. That dragon gun was amazing. And then what else did you have? You had another one, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I thought of one again. So I was gonna say Chaos Blades from God of War, but then also I was gonna say the Borderlands legendary guns. More specifically, like all of the ones that were orange and impossible to get, but they were like the only guns in the game that didn't have like different variations. They were like the one of a kind ones. But the one on Borderlands 2 is called the Handsome Jackhammer, and it was Handsome Jack would talk to you while you used the gun, but when you reloaded, you threw it, and it would bounce in the middle of all the enemies and just keep causing damage for like 10 bounces. Even like it would even hurt you, like it would even kill you if you got close to it. So when you reloaded, you had to throw the gun at like a group of enemies and it would just slam in the middle of them.
I always thought some of those were funny. Some of those reload
Yeah, because they had
animations.
like guns that when you would reload, you would throw it and turn into a sentry gun. Like they had all kinds of cool guns. The Theodore ones, when you throw them, they would just explode.
I think that's what made Borderlands so big in the first place, because they had so many different type of guns, and that was really interesting. Yeah. What about you, Fran? Did you have any more to add after that?
No, I had 3.
All right.
Can't think of any game though, like gun-wise, outside of Call of Duty too much, because that's about all I play.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was any weapon, but yeah, I mean, any gun, whatever you like. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. This was Popcast episode 8. Wait. Oh, we forgot.
Wait.
Yeah, one more special thing.
Yeah. Walter, if you're still listening to us, here's the biggest fuck you you've ever done in your life.
Right up the ass.
And unfortunately, Fran joined us late, but he was here also. And so we're going to wrap it up. This was episode 8. Be sure to check out the other content. We got a lot of videos going up for a lot of different games. And we'll see you on the next one.